in Arizona, we have an individual who has been on the show, actually. He goes by the name of Jimmy Jenkins. He's over at, where is he at? He's at a local, KJZZ, I think he is. He's been on this show. We've interviewed him. Does a lot of great reporting on criminal justice issues. In fact, when coronavirus was just breaking out, I think we did an interview where we were discussing sort of a rush to help get people out of custody, right? Back in March, we didn't really know what this thing was looking like. We didn't know how aggressive it was going to be. And a big concern for myself, other criminal defense attorneys was, while many defense attorneys and while many attorneys in general and the rest of the country was sort of bunkering down, they were going into their little, closets to hide out. We were sitting here going, well, what about all the people in custody? Is anybody thinking about them? Is anybody going to let them out? Are they going to get treatment and care? This disease was just killing people left and right. And so many people, myself included, and Mr. Jimmy Jenkins, were all sort of wondering, how can we call some attention to this? Well, Jimmy came on the show. We had a great conversation, so I'd encourage you to go check that out. But I follow him on Twitter, would ask you to go do the same. It's at Jimmy Jenkins. And today he posted this interesting appeal into the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. And this was something I had not seen. Apparently, this is bubbling up out of a case out of D.C., it looks like, and this is coming from the District of Arizona. He's got a D.C. lawyer and he's got a San Francisco lawyer. So let's take a look at what this is. He says, the prison has a broad policy that sounds neutral, but is actually being used to suppress certain forms of expression, namely rap music and R&B music, both of which happen to be quintessentially produced by black artists. So it's an appeal up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals coming up from the District of Arizona about music. And it starts like this. Don't kill my vibe. An Arizona inmate alleges Kendrick Lamar CD ban is unconstitutional in an appeal to the Ninth Circuit. When an inmate receives a letter, a magazine, book, CD in the mail, prison administrators review the materials first. If the item falls within one of several broad categories established by the Arizona Department of Corrections guidelines, the inmate is denied the material. Reasons for exclusion include depiction of street gangs, description of drug paraphernalia. The department has made revisions. We have appellate counsel. They're saying this is a First Amendment issue, and they have to apply regulations neutrally. In this case, the Arizona Department of Corrections confiscated a Kendrick Lamar CD from Mr. Jones, supposedly because it promoted violence and had sexual content. Yet at the same time, inmates are allowed to watch violent TV shows like Dexter, read James Patterson books that describe rape, and listen to country music songs about cold-blooded murder. Anon says prison officials are applying the policy selectively to ban some artists and materials while overlooking violent sexual content in other materials. That's exactly what the First Amendment protects against. Jones lost his appeal in a previous complaint over the CDs at the U.S. District Court, and now he's going up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Excuse me. All right. So let's take a look at what's going on here, some of the issues in the lawsuit. All right, there we go. Whether the district court erred in granting summary judgment on Mr. Jones's First Amendment speech claim. So it sounds like in the lower level district court, they heard his complaint and they just said, all right, we're not going to, no issues here. We're going to grant judgment in favor of the government. You don't get CDs. They're going to ask whether the district court failed to grant summary judgment, whether it violates some of his claims, whether they failed to hear his First Amendment free exercise claims. And then we just go through and look at some of the policies. So in the ADC prison system, they cannot receive publications by mail until those publications are reviewed by the department. And they have stuff here in section 1.24. It prohibits depictions or descriptions of street gangs and or security threat groups. Same thing with gang-related codes, signs, symbols. 1.27 prohibits depictions or descriptions or promotion of drug paraphernalia, which of course you're going to find in rap music. 1.28, content that is oriented towards or promotes racism or religious oppression, all that stuff is banned. Same with sexual incitement, same with hostile behaviors, pictures, depictions, illustrations that promote acts of violence, all not allowed. The ADC states that these prohibitions assist with rehabilitation and treatment objectives. They reduce sexual harassment and they prevent a hostile environment for inmates and staff and volunteers. You go through, we got some procedural history here. Here is the argument. Mr. Jones says that ADC officials applied the department order in a non-neutral manner, targeting rap and R&B music written by black artists for exclusions. Mr. Jones supported these allegations with ample evidence to establish a genuine issue of material fact on this point, and that's legal language. Is there something material here that we can argue about? The district court, however, altogether failed to analyze this neutral application challenge or the evidence submitted in support thereof, ignoring a dispositive issue under Turner's first factor. Beyond the evidence of a non-neutral application, other factors outlined by the Supreme Court further support Mr. Jones's challenge. It says here, permitting Mr. Jones to obtain rap and R&B music will have little, if any, impact on the guards, inmates, or prison visitors because the content purportedly requiring the censorship is freely available in ADC facilities. Finally, they have an easy alternative to the current censorship policy. Allow prisoners to obtain clean versions of the rap and R&B music. Mr. Jones sought the right to engage in a particular religious practice, the study of essential Nation of Islam texts during Ramadan, but the defendants thwarted his religious exercise by depriving him of those texts. They're saying it's a per se substantial burden. This court has had little difficulty in concluding that an outright ban, so they're talking about an outright ban on religious exercise stuff. Is that good music? I've never heard it. I don't think so. Is it popular? I've never listened to Lamar Jackson. I used to be a big Tupac fan, though. Big. But now I listen to mostly electronic music with no lyrics for some reason. Can't stand lyrics. People think that's weird, but I can't stand it. So, all right, we'll see where that goes. Another interesting case. Now it's about music. And I think they probably make a pretty good point there. It's a big complaint. I haven't really taken a lot of time into the underlying facts of the case, but if you have a sort of a neutral policy that is being applied in a discriminatory fashion, is it really neutral? I mean, isn't this the same argument that a lot of people have with big tech? Okay, we know you have a dangerous policy. We're going to remove dangerous stuff, but apparently mostly conservatives are deemed dangerous. I think that is the allegation from many conservatives. So this is it's viewpoint discrimination. It is the unequal application of neutral policies that are having disparate impacts. We'll see where that goes. All right. Well, let's jump into some questions for the day. Let me take a quick look over at our stream and see if this is working again. Yep, it's sending data again over to YouTube. I think it was just buffering, so apologies for that. All right, so let's get into the question. I skipped something. Wrapping up the program, here is our last little clip. Lindsey Graham was on Fox News on Sunday. I think he's joining the impeachment party. Let's listen in.
Well, number one, I was a bit surprised, but I heard this in 1998. I've been in 3 of the 4 impeachments. I'm sorry about that, but the bottom line, in 1998, you had a lot of Democrats quit Clinton, but got on the floor and said how bad he was. So, you know, Nancy Pelosi called us all cowards. I don't think most Republicans care what she thinks. And I think Senator McConnell's speech, he got a load off his chest, obviously. But unfortunately, he put a load on the back of Republicans. That speech you will see in 2022 campaigns. I would imagine if you're a Republican running in Arizona or Georgia or New Hampshire, where we have a chance to take back the Senate, they may be playing Senator McConnell's speech and asking you about it as a candidate. And I imagine if you're an incumbent Republican, there are going to be people asking you, will you support Senator McConnell in the future? So I like him, Senator McConnell. He worked well with President Trump. I think his speech is an outlier regarding how Republicans feel about all this. I thought the impeachment trial was not only unconstitutional, I condemn what happened on January the 6th, but the process they used to impeach this president was an affront to rule of law. He's the first president to ever be impeached without a lawyer, without a witness, without ability to confront those against him, and the trial record was a complete joke, hearsay upon hearsay, and we've opened Pandora's box to future presidents. And if you use this model, I don't know how Kamala Harris doesn't get impeached if the Republicans take over the House, because she actually bailed out rioters, and one of the rioters went back to the streets and broke somebody's head open. So we've opened Pandora's box here, and I'm sad for the country.
Yeah, Lindsay, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what we've been saying on this channel for months now. Now, ever since Donald Trump got impeached, I think it was on January 13th, we've been saying This is a ridiculous standard. There is no standard here. There's basically anything. Anything is incitement. Anything is insurrection. Anything. If you're going to water it down to the point where anything is insurrection, then nothing is insurrection. And apparently, according to the Democrats' own article, I drafted one for Kamala Harris. You can go find it. I actually linked it in the description on this video, so you can just go download it. Maybe somebody sent that over to Lindsay, because Lindsay... Somebody tell him, hey, we already got it drafted, my friend. So just wait until the House changes hands, and then you'll be good to go. You don't even have to do any work. I got one for Chuck Schumer, too, while you're at it. If you want more, I can draft more. It's actually pretty easy to do this because the standard is so asinine. It's not even complicated. Anybody can write one.